Oh my goodness. In typical Seahawks fashion, it comes down to the wire. You doing all right, Art?
Boy, I tell you what, I'm sweating after that. That was something else.
Well, stay calm because Sports Sunday is just a couple of minutes away.
Portland is the 18th team in Major League Soccer.
It's the City of Portland's championship.
It is great to be home.
Sports Sunday with Orlando Sanchez.
Oh, if you've been watching the Seahawks, you missed history. The Lakers get their 17th NBA title. Wait until you see the game LeBron put up and some respect on his name. But football once again rules on Sundays. It included an injury that has everyone talking across the league. What is good, everyone? Welcome to Sports Sunday. My name is Orlando Sanchez. Art Edwards keeping it socially distant. Where are you, man?
Man, I'm in Paris for the French Open.
Oh, come on.
Where else would I be?
You get all the best assignments. But Art, I've got something good for you. And we're talking about that Seahawks game right here on KGW. Let us roll to CenturyLink Field for this one. 56 degrees, wet and windy. You know how we do in the Pacific Northwest. Seahawks and Vikings, a tale of two halves, no doubt. The Vikings looked like the undefeated team in the first half. Opening drive capped off by a Dalvin Cook touchdown. The Vikings running back could not be stopped until he left the game with a groin injury. They kept Russell Wilson out of the kitchen, sacked him 4 times, and shut out Seattle in the first half. They were on top 13-0. Then these guys in Seattle flipped the switch in the third quarter, and it happened in a hurry. Forced a couple of turnovers, including this one-handed grab from KJ Wright. Come on, man. And the Seahawks cashed in, scoring 21 points in under 2 minutes of the game. Check out this run from Chris Carson. Get out the way! 29-yard touchdown to put Seattle on top 21-13. But in typical Seahawks fashion, this game far from over. Vikings score the next 13 straight. But guess what, folks? Russell Wilson gets the ball with under 2 minutes to go, down 5, and he goes 13 plays, 94 yards on this drive. It was Wilson to DK Metcalf that kept them in it and delivered the game-winning touchdown. Calling it right there. Seahawks defeat the Vikings 27-26. Seattle remains undefeated, 5-0 for the first time in franchise history. All right, let's head up to CenturyLink Field, check in with Seahawks insider Joe Fan from NBC Sports Northwest, who joins us live from the press box. Joe, what are your instant takeaways from this game?
Man, what a ridiculous game. It's never easy with this Seahawks team, and it's never boring. But again, you see a familiar formula on defense. You make just enough plays. The clutch fourth down stop when the Vikings tried to put the dagger in. Instead of kicking the field goal and making it an 8-point game, they go for it and roll the dice. The Seahawks get the stop, and then Russell Wilson continuing to be the league's MVP through 5 games. He wasn't great in this one. He had a baffling interception late in the game that almost cost the Seahawks the game, but ends up coming through when they need him most. 217 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 clutch fourth down conversions. You just showed them the prayer down the left sideline for DK Metcalf, and then the touchdown again on that 4th and 6th play in the red zone. So it wasn't pretty, but now the team is 5-0 for the first time in franchise history. They're feeling really good about themselves. All of a sudden, you get to go get healthy. You play next in a couple of weeks. It's a grueling five-game stretch coming up with the Cardinals twice, the Bills, the Niners, and the Rams. But man, I mean, it's just hard to fathom this one and how they find a way every time, it seems like.
I know most are thinking when Russell Wilson gets the ball, you give him 2 minutes on the clock, a timeout to go the length of the field. It's probably in your favor. We've talked a lot about how this team continues to win these close games and they're comfortable being in them. Your thoughts on that? Is this just something we have to accept by now?
Well, it was the same conversation we had all last year. And I think the reality is this is a team that is going to play a lot of close games. Their defense just flat out isn't good enough in order to win by 2 scores or 3 scores, right? And so Seahawks fans are going to have to continue to get used to these heart attacks once a week. And so I think the mental toughness of this team is one of its biggest strengths. They're never down, they're never out, and they're very unfazed. The second Russell Wilson threw that pick, I guarantee he went back to the sideline, said, we're going to win this game, our defense is going to get us the ball back, and we're going to make it happen. And again, 4th and 10, prayer to DK, 4th and 6 in the goal line, and just you never see this team rattled. And it starts with Pete Carroll, it starts with Russell Wilson, but we just continue to see this team is just so good in clutch moments.
And quickly, Joe, at some point we have to take this team seriously, even though the defense is bending and continues to make these games close. Is this team for real? Can we count on them being a Super Bowl contender?
Yeah, absolutely. This offense is a ready-made offense for a championship, and they got slowed down a bit, and the rainy conditions didn't help. This team notoriously doesn't play very well in the pouring rain, and so I think that was part of it. But Russell Wilson's the league's MVP through 5 weeks. DK Metcalf is a bona fide superstar, entering the conversation of being a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. Tyler Lockett was quiet this week, but you know what you get from him. Chris Carson, an absolute stud. You saw a touchdown run from him tonight. And so, again, you just need the defense to continue to have those couple of plays a game. It was the sack fumbles in this one as well as the KJ Wright interception. The Seahawks continue to score off of those turnovers, and that is the recipe. So it will be close, but as long as you got Russell Wilson, you got a chance in any game you play. So I would say, yes, this team is absolutely a Super Bowl contender. Nicely done, Joe Fan, live from CenturyLink Field. We appreciate you. Make sure to follow this guy on Twitter and on NBCSportsNorthwest.com. Nice work, sir. Orlando, thanks so much, man. I appreciate you.
Art Edwards, you are on deck, man. After seeing those highlights and hearing from Joe Fan, your thoughts on what the Seahawks were able to do. They're now 5-0 on the season.
Well, stunning that they're able to get to 5-0 the way this game was going. I thought that they were done today. But you know what? Moving forward, the defense is going to have to be better. What are they going to do when they run up against a team that's really got a very, very good quality offense? We're talking about like a Kansas City or maybe Buffalo, the way they're playing right now. What are they going to do then? Are they going to be able to score enough points to win it? I think the defense is going to have to be better if they're looking at making it all the way to the Super Bowl.
Art, you know what time it is. Let's let Hyundai take us around the NFL and the day's most important games. The Kansas City Chiefs, they've dominated the AFC West for the last few years, but not today against division rival Las Vegas. It was the Raiders this time. Derek Carr showing off the deep ball and hooks up with Henry Ruggs. Third on the 72-yard TD. Raiders went shot for shot with the Super Bowl champs. Fourth quarter, and the Raiders put it away. Ground and pound courtesy of Josh Jacobs. The Raiders hand the Chiefs their first loss of the season, 40-32. Carr with 347 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Ruggs with 118, and Jacobs with 77 yards, rushing for 2 TDs.
We're going to head now to the Lone Star State. Houston Texans trying to get in the win column for the first time this year, hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars, playing for an interim coach today. Sean Watson, well, he had himself a day for the Texans. Ooh-wee. Moving in the pocket right there, finds Will Fuller. Fuller makes a great play to get into the end zone for the score. Houston was able to pull away in this game in the second half. Watson said they wanted to get former Oregon State star Brandon Cooks going, and well, they sure did, because he could still turn on the Jets. Houston beats Jacksonville 30-14. Deshaun Watson, he just threw for 359 yards and 3 touchdowns today. Brandon Cooks with a monster game, 161 yards receiving and a touchdown. At 73 years old, Romeo Crennel, the oldest coach in the NFL to ever win a game.
And he's winning games as an interim head coach, man. All right, the NFC East is a mess. Every team has a losing record. Someone has to be on top, and the Cowboys could do that by beating the Giants, but the game took a back seat to a devastating injury for Dallas. Dak Prescott carted off the field with a gruesome ankle injury in the third quarter. The Cowboys were locked in a battle with the Giants. Ezekiel Elliott, he finished off the drive with a 12-yard touchdown run. Dallas managed to win the game on a 34-yard field goal as time expired. 37-34 is your final. The Cowboys lead the NFC East with a 2-3 record. Now, in all seriousness, Prescott has a compound fracture and dislocation of his right ankle. He's expected to have surgery tonight. Andy Dalton takes over at quarterback for the Cowboys.
Well, heading out west, home is not turning out to be a very happy place for the injury-riddled San Francisco 49ers. This one hurts me. The Niners hosting the Miami Dolphins. You know what? Miami just rolled right from the start. Ryan Fitzpatrick, the Magic was working today, red hot. Hooks up with Devontae Parker for the scoring pass. Miami jumped to a 21-7 lead. They kept hitting on those big plays. Here's one that gets them down close to the goal line, and they would score a touchdown. San Francisco had no answers on either side of the ball. The Dolphins led it 30-7 at the half.
Ooh.
Jimmy G didn't play in the second half. Miami wins at 43-17. Fitzpatrick threw for 350 yards, 3 touchdowns. Preston Williams went over 100 yards receiving. Niners in last place in the NFC West.
Art, I know that had to hurt to see your 49ers
yeah.
play like that, man. So I'm going to do my best to keep it moving here. It's time now to take a look at the players and teams that had good games and those with not so good games. It's time for our heroes and zeros. First hero of the day, Washington's Alex Smith. He saw his first game action since November of 2018 when he suffered that horrible leg injury. Smith came into the game against the Rams when Kyle Allen got hurt today. It didn't go great for Smith in Washington. They had -6 net yards in the second half. They lost 30-10, but it is so good to see Smith back on the field, and his journey to get back earns him hero status.
Ooh, that's right. Hey, our next hero is the Cardinal Kyler Murray. He is electric on the field. Today, he threw for 380 yards and touchdown. He also ran for another score. After the game, Murray said overall it was a decent day. Cardinals beat the Jets 30-10.
Must be nice to have decent days like that. Now on to the zeros. Oh, and let's go back to Thursday night and the Buccaneers against the Bears. With time running out and Tampa Bay driving, Tom Brady lost track of the downs, and oh, look at him. He's
what down is it?
What? He thinks he has one more down. The finger's up. He went for a big play that failed, and the Bears end up with the ball, and Chicago wins it 20-19. Iconic picture there.
Yes. Finally, there's the Falcons' Matt Ryan. Not all his fault because that whole team really is struggling. Today, Ryan threw for just 226 yards, had an interception. Falcons lost again, this time to the Panthers 23-16. Atlanta is 0-5. Dan Quinn, the head coach, fired after the game, along with the general manager.
It's time to move on. Just like on this show, we have so much more to get to. Still to come, we head south to Eugene and Corvallis. Fall camp underway for the Ducks and the Beavers. We'll get you primed for college football. More Sports Sunday on the other side.
This historic 2020 NBA championship belongs to the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers conquer the bubble.
Dominance. The Lakers are champions again, beating the Miami Heat 106-93 to end the NBA Finals in 6 games. It's the 17th championship for the Lakers, tying Boston for the most in league history. LeBron James, the star of the night, messed around and had a triple-double to lead the way. It's the 4th title for James with 3 different teams, and he wins the NBA Finals Most Valuable Player. Put some respect on Bron's name. All right, let's switch gears. It was like the first day of school type of feeling this weekend. Both the Ducks and the Beavers kicking off training camp. The morning routine includes daily COVID-19 testing for all Pac-12 teams now. Ducks coach Mario Cristobal said the testing doesn't impact the schedule too much. He said everything went real smooth. The defending Pac-12 champs back on the field together for the first time in a long time. This is a totally different team than the one we saw win the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. New offensive line, a new starting quarterback, and some key defensive players are on to the NFL. This weekend signified the start of a new season for the Ducks.
First day of practice, what you would expect out of our program, a lot of juice, a lot of energy. The culture seems to be getting stronger. Expectations for the way we do things are very clear.
The Ducks open the season less than 4 weeks. November 7th at home against Stanford. Art, what are you looking forward to with the 12th ranked Ducks?
Well, I'm looking to see if they can continue what they were able to do last year, but with a new quarterback, a lot of changes on defense, Penei Sewell gone on the offensive line. You just don't know, and you hope that it really is going to be a culture kind of thing that gets them moving forward and has them have another great season.
That was definitely Cristobal's message as we get ready for the new season. Now let's move on down to Corvallis. The energy all the way up as the Oregon State football team put the helmets on and return to practice. The Beavers, fresh off a 5-win season, the most since 2014, the program on the rise and soar expectations in year 3 under head coach Jonathan Smith. Linebacker Avery Roberts said that players have been working out and are in better shape than they normally would be heading into camp. There's nothing quite like the first day of practice, but this one was just a little different, knowing just how long it has been to have everyone together again.
Excited they were to be flying around and finally getting to compete against each other again, be together. Having a bright light now at the end of the tunnel in regards to a schedule. These guys felt awesome. They really did.
And the Beavers, they kick off the season on November 7th at home against Washington State. Art, you are up, man. What are you looking forward to with the Oregon State Beavers?
Well, I thought they had some momentum, last year winning those 5 games because no one really expected that. So I'd like to see them continue that. But they too have those questions. You know what? Gonna have a new quarterback this year, so you don't really know what you're going to be getting out of the offense. But you know what? I like what they started last year. I think they're going to be fine this year.
They can run the ball. That's going to be a fun team to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Don't look past them. Still to come, a little UFC action. This guy thinks he's got his opponent right where he wants him. Not so much. We'll be right back.
They're so even on total strikes at the moment.
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life, Dan.
That is real-life ninja stuff.
Oh my goodness, Joaquin Buckley with an outrageous finish to his fight. On the receiving end of a foot to the face. And it's over. Got to be one of the best knockouts ever, and it's your Toyota Sunday Sizzle. That was crazy, Art.
Man, yeah.
Oh. Well, how about the Portland Timbers hosting San Jose, and the Timbers win it 3-0. Yaroslav Niezgoda scoring 2 goals in the Timbers' victory. Those boys are on a roll. My only concern now is if they're playing too good right now. Don't peak too soon, guys.
That's right.
The Portland Thorns closed out 2020 in a big way. They beat their rivals OL Reign 2-1 up in Tacoma. They go undefeated in the NWSL Fall Series, along with being the best team with the best record. The Thorns also earned the Verizon Community Shield and a $25,000 grant for a local business. They chose Mimi's Fresh Teas out of Portland.
This has probably been one of the most, if not the most exciting Thorns team I've ever been a part of. I think you can see the potential that this group has.
And for us, that was more fuel to our fire. We've always wanted to make sure we have our individual and collective purpose, but be able to fight for something bigger than us was perfect.
We'll be right back. Time flies when you're having fun. Art, did you have a good time tonight?
Had a great time, man.
Nice work. It is time for us to go to bed. Thank you so much for joining us. We leave you with our Plays of the Week.
It is Ebobisse! Oh, what a goal! Jeremy Ebobisse, a phenomenal strike!
Regular lefty. 3-2, Brasso sends one into left field. Gardner going back, and it is up and gone!
Winds up.